I hate technical difficulties. This is like our third, fourth time recording it. So welcome to the Council of Jestors, or Jestors Storytime. With me, as always, is Chris.
Hello once again.
Uh, yeah, we're going to be reading the Ballad of Grimey, so let us start from the top. Oh, goddamn. So,
Yep.
don't listen, don't make
From
this on my computer next time, and this shit won't happen.
okay, so right from the top.
Yeah.
This is a tribute to the worst human being I've ever encountered in my long life of gaming. He checked all the boxes of being that guy, from metagaming to creepy roleplay to deliberately trying to end real life relationships. In addition to weekly board game nights and running into this unpleasant person at comic shops and conventions, I played 3 different campaigns with him, each of them ending when he did something so fucking atrocious that it instantly killed the game. Heck. So I feel like addressing some of those points already.
Okay.
One, the first being metagaming.
Yes.
We all do it at times,
Yeah.
despite what we think. We
Yeah.
all have those little metagaming moments.
Yeah.
The but the big difference is to realize and remember that what you know and what your character knows are 2 different things.
That is true.
That is why there is the above the table conversations and in the table conversations.
Yeah. And I will say this: if you have like a library in your setting, your characters can go into the to that library setting, or or an NPC that knows stuff, like a Witcher like NPC, to get info from them.
Yes.
That's how you make your not your game, your players not the player's knowledge and your character knowledge equal.
Yes. Otherwise, the only way or reason for your character to essentially get away, for your character and yourself to get away with metagaming is one, if you and the DM or GM
Yeah.
come to an understanding and work on a character that allows that to happen, or 2, you're just fucking Deadpool.
Yeah. Yeah, Deadpool knows everything. Very meta.
The second point I want to get on is the creepy role play.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you fucking set up during session 0.
Yeah.
Because session, because I know we talked about this in a previous one, but session 0 is important for so many things. Players being introduced to each other the first time, the characters being discussed for the first time, and setting up the boundaries of the stories and the players for the game. Because if there's going to be any touchy subjects in the game, that is something that must be spoken of and agreed to essentially at session zero, where
You
everyone
spoke my
can
words. You
yeah,
spoke my
where
words.
everyone can sit there and have their say, to where again it's allowing you to set the boundaries of comfort for
Yep.
the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have one person that is cooler with or wants to
Whatever.
actually go down content that, shall we say, is a little more
Risque.
risque, or in some cases dangerous.
Or fucked up.
Yeah, that's another way of saying it.
Yes.
And you have another player who, this may very well be their first time playing a tabletop game,
Mm-hmm.
that is, as many people would like to call them, the baby,
The bebes.
the newbie, or to use a phrase from Star Wars, a shiny.
Or a greenhorn. Forgot where that
Yes.
came from. Deadliest catch? Yeah, deadliest catch.
Yeah, basically meaning they are essentially a blank slate
Yep.
that, for lack of better phrasing, are completely and entirely innocent.
Yeah. They have not been corrupted. Anywho.
This, yeah, and the moment those subjects are brought up, again, in session zero,
Yep.
the moment they say that they might not be comfortable with it, that's where the line is drawn.
Oh, you're gonna hate this guy. You're really gonna hate this
Because
guy.
it doesn't matter if you're playing with a set of four and three out of the four people are okay with a subject.
Mm-hmm.
Any good table respects the boundaries of all of the players,
That is true. That is true.
not just catering to the loudest whiners.
Yeah, and it's kind of fucked up to to show off your kinks at the table because that's not fun for anyone.
And as far as kinks are concerned,
Fuck no.
there's a time and place, and unless someone is okay with discussing those in public, don't.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. And then, the third point being ending real life relationships.
Yeah.
It's like there's a when you are at a table, first and foremost, you have to respect every player that's there.
Yep. That is true. That is the true.
Meaning you have to respect them as individuals,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to respect any relationships they're in.
That is also true. I feel bad for
Because
hosts. Okay.
because unless you do not respect them as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
you will not respect them in relationships. You will not respect their partners.
I think you're hitting this on the nail on the head. I mean, because are you sure you didn't
Because
read this?
no, I didn't.
Oh,
Remember,
okay.
I go into these bonds for a reason.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Another
yeah.
way, another way of sitting there and saying it is for those relationships where you have one partner that is essentially the partier, and
Mm-hmm.
they like to go hang out with their friends who are more than likely single
Yep.
or have been in so many failed relationships. You have,
Yeah, I
you know,
get
and
that.
then you have the other partner who, you know, isn't much of a partier,
Yeah.
but
Now, Chris,
yeah,
you
but
should.
that partner will sit there and tell, the partier, hey, don't go. I don't feel comfortable with this.
Yeah.
As
Well,
soon as that party partner sits there and says, that's just you being insecure,
push the button, destroy the relationship. Boop.
yeah, because that shows that one,
They don't respect
they
you.
don't respect them. Two, they don't respect the relationship. And three, they aren't sitting there and respecting themselves to understand what the possible threats to the relationship are.
Yep. Should we continue with
Yes.
the
With our
key
tangent,
players?
no.
Should we continue with the key players of the
Yes.
story? Shall we?
The key players in our tale of horror, and I do apologize for that tangent.
Yeah, it's cool. I think that's why people watch us. But
Yeah.
acoustic tangents.
You have me, the new guy, an unwilling punching bag to our antagonist. Didn't we just
Bro.
mention anything players
No,
and brand?
these are these are just the main factors you have to worry about.
Yeah, no, again, that's, because we just went off by like players who have never played the game that are fresh to the board, and here we are with the first, with the first person being me, the new guy. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Bro, my friend who introduced me to our game group, the hosts, kind of self explanatory, host
Yeah.
of Game Night, and Grimey, the host high school slash college friend and all around piece of shit.
Campaign
Uh,
1.
yes. If you excuse me a moment, I believe my food is here.
Oh no. Anyway, go on to another different acoustic tangent. If you don't know what Dark Heresy is, it's also what is it? A Warhammer tabletop system meant for role playing and all that fun. If you know what Horus Heresy is, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't worry. I have no idea what I'm talking about either. Because why logic? Because when you have logic in the 40k universe, you usually get squished by ultramarine or whatever, and sent to the gulag for reprogramming. Yay, gulag! But
Wait, this is going to be about Warhammer 40k?
first campaign is Warhammer, and Grimey's the DM. So have fun.
Oh no.
Yes.
Small tangent again.
Yes.
For those that don't know of Warhammer 40k, I will I will keep this short and simple. It is a universe set far into the future where absolutely everything has gone wrong
Yeah, everything hit the
in
fan.
the worst of ways.
Everything went in shit in a handbasket, and we all pushed the big no-no buttons.
that is all a gross understatement of the actual lore, especially when you sit there and get into the war gods and the demons and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to sit there and open up that Pandora's box.
Not yet, anyway. Anyway, campaign 1.
Yes, back on point. But why he chose Warhammer as his first game?
Just go on with it. We must end our suffering with this first campaign.
Yeah, although I will sit there and say I'm curious what he chose to go with. But anyway.
No, wait, hold on. I
Oh,
forgot to enlarge it.
there you go.
Enlarge. There you go. Make this screen grow.
Campaign 1, The Dark Heresy, which is misspelled, had... Yeah. Oh, that's white space. I had just graduated and found a job near my college's city. Most of my friends had left by then, but Bro was still around and told me he was a part of a game group. I hadn't touched a D20 in 4 years, but I was eager to get back into the game and meet some new friends while I was at it. So I asked Bro if he could snag me an invitation. Bro comes through and I get the text from the host with an address and a weekly schedule. I show up next session an hour early, which, quick tangent.
Yes.
For anyone who is a first-time player or a new character to a game, this is a respectful way to do it.
Yes. And if you were raised by a military man, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, because that gives you time to sit there, get introduced to everyone, get introduced to the story, build your character, and essentially that becomes your session 0 moment.
Yep.
Where you learn the boundaries and you can add or address your own boundaries to it.
Yep.
A good host will be flexible.
Yeah.
An arrogant DM won't. And back on point, shall we?
Yes.
The host told me that the group was in the middle of a Dark Heresy campaign, but the GM was willing to add one more person. I spent an hour with the host going over the ins and outs of Dark Heresy, which is a gritty, violent investigation and combat-focused tabletop role-playing game set in the Warhammer 40k universe. Now, see, like I said right there, show up early, talk to the DM, essentially have your own little session 0, much like they had.
That ain't the DM, dude.
The host?
Host is the DM.
Oh, no, I thought he was.
No, keep reading.
I didn't know much about Warhammer 40k, so I thought I should play a younger character to indicate their naivety into the world. Oh, the poor summer child.
Yeah.
For those of you wondering why I sit there and say that, the simple answer I will say is look into the lore. If you want to sit there and open the literal Pandora's box and try to dive down the lore for everything in 40k,
Have fun with that.
and rest in peace your bloody sanity. Otherwise, the simple way to get into it, find
Everyone's evil.
No, essentially. But find those characters you like first for whatever reason. It could be aesthetics, it could be something little,
Think we
or
went
for
through this.
some, it could be the Battle Sisters or the Sisters of Battle for reasons.
Yes, reasons.
And then start by focusing on their lore.
Then work your way out.
And then, well, yes, that would be the simple way to do it. And one of the better ways to keep your sanity.
Anywho.
And the fact he chose to play a younger character,
Yeah.
knowing what I know of Warhammer, the only thing I can sit there and imagine is how scarred or how terrified of a child that was.
She's also, and they're also, he's playing, they're playing also as a female.
Yeah, that, yeah.
Wait, who just joined?
Taco.
Oh, hey, Taco, we're recording. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Which
I'll
one
leave.
is on? Oh, shame. Oh well.
Oh, well. Yeah, streamer mode disables the ping for me. Oh, no. Sorry about that, everyone. That was a friend of ours, and we forgot to put down, we're recording at the moment in our Discord. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Although next
well.
time we could just pop in the podcast one, but
Then we had to re-record everything, and then fuck that bullshit. Just put it on the tab for me. Anyway, back to the story.
Yes, I then asked for a rundown of the party composition. The entire party was playing a combat-heavy class except for one. So I built my character around charisma and deception to balance the team. The party was also mostly male characters, so I made her female. And finally, the party was trying to escape from a prison planet, so my character was someone born on the prison planet and longed to see what lied outside of the wall-laden planet. You dear, dear summer child.
The craziness. Yes. Oh, yeah. Can't wait for you to see that screenshot I sent you. Or read it.
I can already see the spiral.
But we're not there yet, so have fun.
Yeah. By the time I finished putting my character together, the rest of the players began to arrive. Grimey came last. I introduced myself to all the players and made sure to go out of my way to thank Grimey for letting me join mid-campaign. Grimey didn't seem to care too much, and I took that as a sign that he was probably stressed at the thought of incorporating a new character into his campaign. So he's the DM.
Yep. Yep. Host is just the guy that hosts the game. Grimey's the DM for this first campaign. Oh no.
Oh. Getting the aforementioned warning, knowing that the first campaign is 40K.
Yep.
Which, quick preference.
Yes.
For those that want to dive into the Warhammer universe and want to play a proper female character that will not take shit, I would suggest looking into the Sisters of Battle.
Yes.
because they are proper femme fatales that can wreck shit.
Yes.
And have and give and get respect.
Yes.
A wild jaw has appeared.
Hey,
A
Jock.
wild jar has appeared.
We
I'm
are
gonna deafen
reading the
myself
ballad
for
of
you.
Grimey.
Well, I'm
Would
gonna
you
mute
care to
myself
join us?
for you guys.
Okay.
Oh well. Anyway, I still know he's here because of the react images. Anyway, let's continue. Where were we? By the time Grimey.
I know. I know where we are.
Okay.
I'm just sitting there. Remember the earlier comment of when it comes to kinks, unless they are willing to be spoken of openly, keep them in private.
Oh yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm already getting the feeling that this DM didn't, and he
Get the
forced
memo?
it on players.
Oh, trust me. When you read that little snippet I sent you, it's far uglier.
I got my sheet approved by him and did my best to be a support role in the party. I was nervous at the time, so I avoided the limelight, made sure not to interrupt another player while they were talking, and provided a gift in the form of unhealthy snacks. And then the game got underway. At first, I was enjoying the session. My character was terrible at combat, but she had a great investigation skills and could deceive anyone like it was no one's business. Grimey would often hint plot hooks or clues to which I wrote down and then encouraged the group to go after. My character was meek but resourceful and generally liked among everyone. Generally liked among everyone except for Grimey. It happened slowly, so I didn't catch it right away. In combat, the enemies would prioritize me, despite having two heavily armored characters standing without cover, firing rocket launchers, a ninja running into melee with a power sword, and an elite sniper in the back. If I did not spend my first round in combat jumping into cover, Grimey would always have several mooks target me. Sometimes enemies got the jump on us, and I was taken out instantly, but was always saved by one of my teammates. Yeah, no, I already have an idea of which fucking rabbit hole this is going down.
It
Not a good one.
gets worse.
Believe me, that particular rabbit hole does.
Oh,
And I
it
fear
might
that
take it
may be
worse.
one it's going down.
Oh, it gets worse.
Then my deception tactics had became more challenging. Grimey originally let me roll deception whenever I made a cover story, but soon I had to roll a deception for every lie I told in that cover story. And if I failed one roll, and one failed roll would ruin the entire attempt to solve things non-violently. Sometimes I'd fail even when passing all my rolls. At one point, I dressed up like a scientist and secretly led the party through a bunch of laboratories, distracting guards and unlocking doors as I went ahead of them. One of our frontline heavies sees a dangerous-looking guard and tries to one-shot him before he's aware of the party's presence. The shot misses, but alerts every guard in the room, and they all open fire on me.
Bleh.
According to Grimey, the guards assumed that I was with the band of heavy armored mercs, despite being in disguise and being across the room from them. So I went again. My party finishes the fight, and I am brought to the med bay, where at this point, I was a regular customer. I'm already seeing so many flags with this DM.
Oh, he gets worse.
Oh, I know.
Just like
As I said, that particular rabbit hole that I'm seeing the plot lines for are anything but.
Oh, trust me, he gets his just desserts.
Here's hoping. Another fun story was when our party had to investigate a merchant who may have been selling heretical items. I disguised myself as a noble, used my connections to get me fake IDs, and spread rumors that a noble was looking to purchase goods on the black market, and show up with one of the other PCs as my hired muscle. Grimey states that my hired muscle would be too suspicious, and forces me to roll a very challenging persuasion roll to let my muscle with me. Miraculously, I made it, but Grimey was huffed about it, saying that the merchant's guard are on high alert and will shoot me if either I or my muscle do anything suspicious. It would be more fucking suspicious for a noble to show up without hired guards
Yep.
than what one would expect to be with them.
Yep.
Oh. Now, two of the ways I can sit there and see the reasoning for this is one, he's a new player, or two, he's the female player, or the character playing a female character.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it could be. It could be, but you'll be surprised.
Neither of which are good.
Yeah.
A few more deception rolls, and the merchant reveals a necklace which he claims is an unholy artifact. I ask, how can he prove that the item is an unholy artifact, and the merchant puts the necklace on my character? No rolls, no role playing, no way to avoid this. I tell Grimey that there is no way my character would ever let someone put a cursed item anywhere near her. And Grimey just cackles and says, "You wanted to know if the necklace was unholy? My character suffers a permanent debuff. No way to remove it. I was pissed." Yeah, I already don't like the guy.
Oh yeah, I want to strangle him and throttle his throat like a fucking like Bart Simpson, like a Homer Simpson to Bart.
I never knew why Grimey hated my character so much, though I later realized it wasn't my character he hated, but the player. That answers that question.
Yep.
He would talk over me when we're hanging out outside of the game, criticize my taste in comics, movies, or TV shows, and would usually dismiss any points I'd make while having a conversation. All of this eventually boiled down into one act that completely destroyed his campaign. A mob boss had been connected to recent cult activity, and we had been given permission to bring him in. Problem was that he never left his well-guarded mansion and did not invite strangers. Me and our sniper had the highest stealth stats, so we paired up and explored the enemy grounds in order to scout for possible entry methods. Grimey had us roll stealth every single time we do something. Walk down the hallway, roll stealth. Peek around the corner, roll stealth. Whisper to your party member an inch from your face, roll stealth. Grimey got more impatient with every successful roll we made, but our luck eventually ran out, and one of us failed our stealth roll. Every guard instantly surrounded us. They just materialized behind every corner, popped out of every door. Grimey made it pretty evident that me and the sniper were dead. That me and the sniper were dead if we so much as blinked. I thought, okay, so now the party gets to plan a daring rescue. That's cool. But I was wrong. So very wrong. First, Sniper got interrogated. Grimey would scream questions at Sniper player, and the Sniper player rolled to resist blurting information. At one point, Grimey had a guard throw a punch at Sniper, dealing a bit of damage. Overall, I thought it was dark but fitting to Dark Heresy.
Redacted. Now you can read the part that I had to redact.
And I'm guessing that's the part that you sent me?
Yep. You're gonna hate him very much. Don't read it out loud. Just try to do your best.
And for the record, as I said, I'm already not liking the guy. Because as a DM, purposely targeting a player is not right.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you don't like, when it's someone that you don't know and you automatically don't like them. It's another when you're purposely going out of their way to make their first time in game hell.
Yeah. Did you read the parts that I redacted?
Not yet. Damage. Okay. Really?
Yes. If you want to summarize it, think of remove the G from grapes. There you go. But yeah, it's that disgusting. This is why it's on a doc, everybody. I couldn't truly edit it on Reddit or take a screenshot and do that at the moment. But yeah, it's that bad. Chris, do you hate him even more now?
Oh, I'm already thinking of the special place in hell that's reserved for his ass.
Anyway, should we continue? Because you get the answer of maybe what your OP is, what gender our OP is.
Our only female player gets out of her seat, packs her things, and leaves without saying a word. She never plays a game with Grimey again. I wouldn't blame her.
I wouldn't either.
Because again, C2 earlier conversation about session 0 and setting proper fucking boundaries.
The guy is just targeting the guy, okay? He must feel his neck beardiness must be threatened by him. By OP.
Yeah, no. He wasn't just targeting him. He just, at that point, didn't care about boundaries.
Yep.
The point of proof is right there. That the only female player got up and left the game.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And she never played with him again.
Yep. Continue.
I'm in utter shock as most of the other players, and no one said good game. No one even wanted to acknowledge that we had a session next week. The only person who looked like they were having a good time was Grimey, who was nudging host and shoveling his game books into his backpack, saying, "Nice finisher, right?" Really sets up the dystopian feel of 40K. Host kind of just blankly agrees, not wanting to say anything. And no, it didn't. That was him pushing a fetish onto the situation.
Yeah.
And for those wondering why I sit there and say that, it's because at the end of the spiel, it sits there and says he was licking his lips.
Yeah.
Meaning he was reveling in the act he was putting this female character through.
Yeah.
And even in 40K, there is still that boundary of respect.
Yeah. Even I know that. And I don't do 40K.
I mean, the only essentially religion where things like that would happen on a regular basis would be through Slanesh.
Yeah.
And then even that
Has boundaries,
is
I think.
it not only has boundaries, but even that is with fucking consent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I show up to the host next week and we're all playing board games instead. No one wants to play Dark Heresy anymore. Host says that he has a campaign in mind and wants me to come. I think, thank God, as long as Grimey isn't the GM, I'm safe. I was so very wrong.
Edit to add.
Edit for the one guy asking for a
TLDR.
yeah.
TLDR. is invited to a Dark Heresy campaign. GM Grimey consistently punishes OP for unexplained reasons. Campaign suddenly ends when GM has OP's character R word and in detail.
In detail.
This is one of only 3 campaigns that GM ruined, and more to come. For more to come.
Yes, but I think going forward we should just say the purple ape.
Purple ape. Okay.
In place of the word. Because it would be funner.
It would be funner. Give me a second. I got to make this bit. Fuck it. I can zoom in. There we go. I think Reddit has those tool things, and I'm not logged in, so yay.
Chapter 2.
Out of
Deadlands. Yeah. Folks tend to ask, why do you keep playing, or why didn't anyone kick out Grimey from the group? The answer is a bit tragic and is tied to Grimey and Host relationship. Host was the only person in our group who had a home big enough to fit our group. And save for Grimey, the group itself was great, but Grimey and Host go way back. Host is a nice guy, but his self-esteem is shit and tries to please everyone. Grimey naturally latched on to Host for years, bullying him into a subservient relationship position. Grimey convinced Host that he was the only true friend he'd ever have. That meant Hosts included Grimey for all of his nerdy activities.
Hit the gym, Host. Hit the gym. You'll do better in the self-confidence if you hit the gym.
Yeah, and then he'd hit Grimey.
More or less suplex, but that guy's probably fat as fuck.
Yeah, but I will say that's not an okay relationship.
It's very parasitic.
That is parasitic, that is abusive, that is controlling,
Yeah.
and that is a relationship that is never good for one's mental health.
Never.
For any of you who see your friends in these kinds of positions in relationships,
Yeah.
help them. Let them know, make them aware of the psychological and verbal abuse they're suffering,
Yeah.
and tell them it's not okay and they deserve to be respected.
Yes.
Because as people who are autistic, who have ADHD and so on and so forth,
All that
for
fun
those
stuff.
that are neurodivergent,
Yes.
mental health is a significant thing.
Yes. I might be all laughs and giggles at the, or I might be sounding like that, but I do take that very seriously. And Grimey deserves a really good massaging of with the metal bat to his head, if you catch my drift.
A very short walk off a very, very tall cliff.
Or a good gentle nudge while he's
Yeah,
still
into a 6 foot hole
Yes. Yes.
buried in the backwoods
Yes.
where no one will know.
Yeah,
No one will
know.
find them.
Yeah. A lot of people go missing during hiking season, and not many of them are
And
found.
hunting.
And hunting. Don't forget that too. Anyway, let's get back to the story.
A few weeks after the horrific Dark Heresy campaign ending, Host announced that he wanted to GM a Deadlands campaign. I've never heard of Deadlands before, but Host described it as the supernatural TV show, but set in the Wild West. I was sold. Session 0 came in, and as per my normal character creation strategy, I asked what everyone was playing. Of course, Grimey had to keep his character secret, but everyone else casually mentioned that they were going to make gunslingers and melee focused characters, so I went for the spellcaster class. The mad scientist. Jar. I wanted to make a super quirky character and did so in spades by taking hindrances. Hindrances are like feats in D&D, except they're all universally bad. But taking hindrances allow you to take actual feats and increase your base stats. I maxed out on my hindrances and used them to bump up my stats so that I was pretty good at everything, but amazing at my magic skills. This helped me deal with bullshit combat scenarios that frequently came up. We wrapped up session 0 by going around the group, giving a quick summary of our characters. One guy was a zombie gunslinger. Another was a shape-shifting Native American. One person was a Man in Black style secret agent, cool stuff. Grimey, ironically, had the most interesting character. A rich heiress with high charisma who was a huckster. A spellcaster who used gambling to cast spells. His character was motivated to track down her husband's killer. I called out to Grimey, complimenting his cool character, to which he huffed and said, "All of my characters are amazing."
Yeah.
Arrogance, pride, and ego have no place in a character at all.
Yeah.
Unless there is proper reason and is done correctly. This man has already proven he can't handle shit correctly.
Oh, trust me, it gets worse and funnier.
I don't have trouble making original OP characters like some players. Not sure if that jab had been directed at me, host, or another player, but I let it slide. I introduced my mad scientist. As a fun backstory hook, I said that my scientist introduces himself as a doctor, but in reality, he was a college dropout since he left college, since he felt college was a waste of time. I figured this could be fun if he'd run into other mad scientists former or even former classmates of his. Session 1. All of us are in Connecticut boarding a train and heading out west for a science conference in San Francisco. Host sets up the scenarios where each of our characters bump into each other and get the chance to roleplay an introduction. Finally, the RP scene between Grimey and me came up. Oh, me, Grimey. Host sets up the scene. Grimey, as you are waiting to board the train, one of your crew member runs up to you with a concern related to your luggage. As he leads you to the luggage loading zone, he points out that your luggage is too bulky and loaded with the rest. OP, you see this happening just as you are walking to the train. This is perfect time, I think to myself. I have spells that could help move heavy objects. My scientist saunters to Grimes' Eris and the crew member. Excuse me, madam. I couldn't help but overhear your dilemma. Could I be of assistance? Grimey got really pissy, turning to me and then immediately back to the host. I do not know who this riffraff is, but I do not want him anywhere near my things. In fact, I want to buy his room on the train and use it for storage. Now, Grimey had taken 2 feats for this character, wealth and charisma. Both meant he could win just about any social interaction, and the crew member said, "Let me speak to my boss." My scientist awkwardly introduces himself and tries to convince Grimey that I could solve the luggage issue. As if you don't look like a doctor, you look like a charlatan. I have my eye on you. At this point, Grimey writes some notes down and passes them to the host. The host reads them, looks concerned at Grimey, then shrugs and says, "Okay." The crewman returns with a supervisor, and the supervisor agrees to let Grimey have my character's room for storage. The supervisor then turns to my character, apologizes, and hands me an upgrade to a personal suite on the train. Grimey is not happy to hear this. What the fuck, host? How come OP gets a free suite? The host tells Grimey that people cannot just spend money to kick someone out of a train, and upgraded passengers that are being inconvenienced is normal. Grimey continued to yell at host, demanding that my character should not be allowed to go on the train, suggesting that I shouldn't even be allowed
To play in this campaign.
yeah. I'm just trying to find my spot. There we go. Suggesting that I shouldn't be even allowed to play in this game. Host sheepishly stands his ground, not out of moral justice, not out of moral justification, but out of no way to approve of Grimey's demands without sounding like a complete lunatic. Grimey was so out of shape that even an argument caused him to sweat. Wow.
Yeah, he fat. He's a blubber man. He's made of
No,
lard.
that is beyond fat. If you were to sit there, look at Gabriel Iglesias' fatness scale,
Yeah.
that man would not be fat. For those that don't know, it goes big, healthy, husky, fluffy, damn, and oh hell no.
Yeah, he's on the. Oh, hell no. side of the thing of everything.
No, he is either level 6 or beyond, which is just the growl.
Oh. Oh no.
Because if you are so out of shape
That you have your own
that even
gravitational pull.
having an argument causes you to sweat,
Yeah.
you are beyond the point of morbidly obese.
At that point, you could even suggest that they have their own gravitational pull and maybe become a black hole if they get dense enough.
Yeah, he's so fat his body's trying to kill itself at that point.
Yeah. Shall we continue?
Yes. After finally catching breath, he calmed down and his character decides to offer mine a peace offering, an apple. Why do I think of this as the poison apple?
Are you sure you haven't read this before?
I haven't, but it already feels like the
This
fucking what?
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to remember that one character from fucking Snow White,
The poison
the
apple.
fucking witch. Yeah, the fucking witch that,
Evil
the
queen.
poison apple was Snow White.
Yeah, the evil queen.
Yes. My character thanks Grimey and then tosses the apple behind his head. Grimey started breathing deeply again. He took a massive inhale and then screamed, "You metagaming piece of shit." Everyone at the table jumped back when he said that. Grimey began ranting at me that there is no way my character would know that Grimey had drugged the apples. Wait, hold on. The entire table's reaction, Grimey showed host his character sheet and said that his heirs always carried drugged apples as part of her backstory. The only way OP's character would know was if he's metagaming. Now, I had not known about Grimey's poison apples, but I handed host my own character sheet and pointed to the section of the sheet where players can input personality quirks. One such quality was irrational fears. I had listed apples as a fear. I said my character, through the thought there was a special meaning to the phrase, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." Therefore, distrusted all apples.
See, that's
The group
a
got a
funny
chuckle out
fear.
of my explanation, and Grimey relented his point. No apologies, just a grumpy acknowledgement that we can now proceed with the actual story.
See,
It's
that's how you make a good character. It's stupid and funny if you're doing something like this. And if someone is accusing you of metagaming,
Yeah.
make sure you have a good. It's actually in your in your backstory. But other than that, oh god, that's
Yeah,
stupid and funny.
that, and if you're going to accuse someone of that, have fucking proof.
Yeah.
Because remember, he kept his character a secret the entire time. No one, not even the DM, knew his character had the drugged apples until the moment he sat there and slid the paper to him
Yep.
in game.
Yep. That's why I usually check all your sheets once in a while whenever I end game, when I go into the games, just in case. I trust you guys, but I just have to make sure that everything looks right. Like, okay, you should be able to do this, this, and this. Oh, you forgot this. Let me add that to it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you got the two chuckleheads here that are artificers.
Yeah. And one of them forgets to roll his daily potions. I mean, seriously, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
In my defense, this is the first, artificer I played. So after that, forget that.
True. That is true. That is understandable. Anyway,
Back to the story.
back to the
Grimey made sure to make my gameplay experience as miserable as possible. To start, that note he passed to the GM was that Grimey wanted to hire a private investigator to do a background check on my scientist. Grimey had no other reason other than he wanted an in-game justification for why his heiress knows my character's backstory. What was supposed to be a fun side plot hook became a reason for Grimey to ridicule me during every RP session. I'd be blending in with other scientists, trying to RP some info out of them. And here comes Grimey loudly proclaiming that my scientist was a fraud, that he was a college dropout. I'd make up credentials to get our party into the lab, and Grimey shoves me to the side and tells the guards how I'm not supposed to be there because her private eye dug up the truth about me. Every time I tried to roleplay, Grimey would interrupt the scene, acting smug and obnoxiously divulging my character's backstory.
At that moment, you realize he's a donk.
C2 early conversation. This video being respect.
Yay! Respect RSECP, what that means to me. Or whatever, however that song goes.
When you are at the table,
Yes.
there needs to be a level of respect and decency.
Yeah.
This is proof that Grimey doesn't.
That is so true. To be honest, I think Grimey is a how do I say this? Self actualizing prophecy, because I think he was fearful that new guy's going to take over my spot. And
Yeah, but you also have to sit there and realize the backstory between Grimey and the host.
Oh yeah, and if Grimey felt
This is
threatened
not
from a new player,
that's just not right.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to sit there and make this point.
Yeah.
I have a belief or a little rule when it comes to relationships of any kind, whether personal, professional, or intimate.
Respect each other.
You can respect someone you don't trust, but you can never trust someone you don't respect.
Yep.
And so far, what I've gotten from this story is that Grimey is not a respectful individual. Hell, he doesn't respect anyone.
He needed more
other
hugs
than
when
his.
he was younger.
I'm thinking, no, it wasn't a hug he was needing. It was a proper beatdown.
That I agree.
Because there is a limit to how arrogant and egotistical someone can act before they've gone past the point of, I don't respect fucking anyone.
Yeah.
This overweight, morbidly obese fat ass has gone well beyond that point.
Yeah. Anywho.
He is doomed to be alone for the rest of his life, period.
Hopefully, but
with that kind of an attitude, he is.
yes.
Combat was arguably worse. My mad scientist was mostly a support character, but Grimey went full-on damage dealer, focusing on area of effect spells. Grimey would always cast spells in such a way that they would always catch my scientist in the crossfire. Dude.
Still targeting one player. Wow.
Grimey would sometimes move his arrow specifically so that her attack would hit me as well. Fortunately, I was a smart player. I had a lot of defensive spells, and my chunkier base stats allowed me to tank Grimey's bullshit. Host also took note and made sure that the enemies didn't target me, since I was already battling Grimey. Whenever it was the enemy turn, Grimey would remind Host that OP hasn't been attacked in a while. Host would nervously point out that my mad scientist hadn't attacked the bad guys, only provided buffs for my allies. This broke out into an argument at every combat encounter.
Yeah.
Things came to an end during our first major battle. Grimey killed a rogue mad scientist, which caused his latest creation, a 12-foot tall steampunk mech, to come alive. Grimey goes up to the mech, rolls persuasion to convince the mech that OP had killed his master. Grimey rolled really well, but Host said, "It's a robot. It only does what it's programmed to do, and it's programmed to rampage." Grimey got so pissed off that he refused to help in this battle, spending each of his actions trying to persuade the robot to kill my character or badmouth the other players for gaming up with an evil mad scientist such as myself. Our party manages to defeat the mech without Grimey's help, but the mech is now set to self-destruct, and we have X turns to get far enough away from it before it explodes. Host sets up a riveting chase sequence in which we have to escape from a laboratory labyrinth, getting past robotic guards and locked doors. Grimey decides that it would be a good use of his time to stand behind every locked door, and slam it in my face whenever I tried to go through, locking it behind him. As a mad scientist, dismantling the locks on a door isn't difficult, but it eats up time. But I had something else Grimey didn't have: a friend. Bro was sick and tired of Grimey's bullshit and followed Grimey everywhere his heirs went. Every time Grimey tried to delay my character, Bro, who was a 6-foot tall Native American, would drag her away, giving me plenty of time to escape. Unsurprisingly, Grimey was not happy that my scientist survived the boss fight and the explosion, at which point his character proclaims, "I'm going to continue my quest for my husband's killer heading east." Now, Host had done a pretty solid job at defining everyone's plot hooks being in the West, literally railroading us by taking a train heading west. But like a stuck-up brat, Grimey wanted to travel east. Host then described how an eerie man in black manifests in front of them. Tells Grimey that he killed the husband, and that man in black will wait for Grimey in San Francisco before mysteriously vanishing in black smoke. Even with this Deus Ex Machina, Grimey whined that he wanted to go back east and refused to travel with these lunatics. Out of character, Grimey also berated Host, demanding that everyone else make new characters to fit his character's insane plot twist. We'd been playing this campaign for months, and you can see that after each session, Host's passion had slowly been drained. This was the last straw. All of his story threads for our characters, all the plot development, none of it mattered to him anymore. He just shut his books and said that boss fight is probably as good as it'll get. Let's play something else. It was heartbreaking. It fucking would be. Sit there, put all that time, all that effort into something that they were passionately getting into.
Yep.
To have one asshole
Yep.
ruin the entire thing every step of the damn way.
Yep.
And the only reason he hadn't confronted the jackass was because he was in an abusive relationship with him.
Yep.
Unsurprisingly, Grimey was not happy that my scientist survived. We already read that part.
Yeah, the next week.
The next weeks we spent playing board games. During one such day, Bro gets me alone and says he wants to run his own campaign. I asked if Grimey was invited, and Bro said that that he talked to host, and where the host plays, Grimey plays. I shuddered, but Bro put his hand on my shoulder and told me, "I got you." Bro had his work cut out for him, but he definitely gave Grimey a taste of his own medicine.
TLDR. Player uses meta knowledge to ruin player's role playing session. Explicitly tries to drug and kill OP for no in-game reason, and eventually tries to derail the plot so he can have he plots so hard that the GM quits. Thank you. See, you can tell.
No problem.
Yeah.
If I remember right, Grimey is the girlfriend, correct?
Grimey is the fat ass lazy fucker that is the, how do I say this?
The abusive
parasite.
Shit friend?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say more rude term, but is the host's girlfriend, correct?
No.
No. They're both dudes.
They're both dudes. However, in this interlude, you will have fun with this, because host will get us spined. So, let us begin.
This is a short story of Grimey's shittiness that is unrelated to his campaign serial killings. You can skip down to campaign 3 if you want the TT RPG horror.
No, we need that cringe injected into us.
Over the past year in secret, Host had begun a long-distance relationship with a woman he met online. After the abrupt end of his campaign, he disappeared for a few weeks. We all thought it was due to him being depressed about his poor campaign. When he returned, we were all surprised to find that Host got married.
Yay.
And spent the last few weeks having his new wife move in. Host wife was not a nerd, but she did wonders for our weekly group sessions. Host's house became spotless. Host began organizing his games, comics, and other nerdy gear. And we always had freshly made and healthy snacks for our game nights. How dare? Everyone knows they're supposed to be unhealthy.
Yes, however, they can.
That's tradition.
Some healthy snacks are pretty damn good, my opinion.
Host wife also put a stop to Host's poor eating habits.
Yay!
And the switch from daily junk food to home cooked meals showed. Host looked healthier, thinner, and most importantly, happy. So of course, Grimey didn't want any of this. Grimey told the group when Host wasn't around how much he hated Host wife. He said Host wife was rude to everyone, disrespected us with healthy snacks, and was always changing Host into something he's not. Excuse me.
Your excuse. Let me just scroll up.
Disrespecting people by giving them healthy snacks?
Shit, if they were like untasty healthy snacks, then I agree. But if they're tasty healthy snacks, fuck you.
Exactly. I was like, yes, healthy snacks can be delicious, and yes, despite the joke of the tradition being unhealthy snacks, snacks are snacks at the end of the day.
Yeah, and for fuck's sake, they could have been like baked air fried potato wedges, like with a little bit of oil, enough seasoning on there to make it like, oh, it's so good. Come on.
Yeah.
You can make good snacks with healthy ingredients.
Yeah, and again, he wants to sit there and talk about disrespect. I'm like, she didn't make him throw out any of his nerd stuff.
Yep.
No, she just
She had him
organized it.
Yep.
Like everything
Grimey's
was
just
neat, tidy,
a douche.
and properly organized.
Yep. Should we get back to the
Like-
story?
Grimey is a douche.
That would just simply acknowledging that he's a douche would be an understatement. The same level of calling the ocean nothing more than water
A big-
and salt.
Or a soup.
Technically, yes.
That is soup. One. Technically,
Yes.
cereal is also soup because I have to fuck with both of your brains. And just because it's understatement doesn't mean it's not true.
Yes.
Yes, but if you want to sit there and talk about how cereal is a soup, then let's also mention how popcorn is a cereal.
Okay, guys, we gotta get back to the story. We're still recording. You know that, right?
Yeah,
Sucks to suck.
Anyway.
why these side tangents are always so fun.
Yeah.
They're the best things.
Yeah.
So, if popcorn is cereal,
God damn it.
eventually, processed corn is cereal,
Yes.
then popcorn is also soup. Well, unprocessed soup.
Yes. Okay, we all have to agree on that. Now let us continue with the story.
Back on point. Most of the group just ignored me, with the others reaffirming that host wife was only rude to Grimey because Grimey was rude to her. You get what you get.
Yeah.
I don't get why it's so confusing.
Yeah. And this
Grimey
host
did-
wife must have a shiny spine that host might develop one day.
Yeah, not to mention, like, she's been nothing but a source of host's peace and happiness.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
What's
for
there to
those who are
complain
watching this? My dogs went nuts.
Oh, and Grammy doesn't need to eat the healthy snacks, and host is both in the best shape of his life and the happiest he's ever been.
Yep.
I just said that too. Grammy would always raise his voice when you pointed out the flaws in his argument until it would attract the attention of host or host wife, at which point he'd shut up and murmur to himself.
Anyways,
Grammy's next plan was to attack host's newly acquired self-confidence. I came early one game night and found Grammy huddled up next to host, telling him to divorce his wife. It was like some bad sitcom. She's taking away your freedom. She doesn't understand you. She's using you for the house and money, despite her making more money. Maybe it was the years of abuse finally hitting host. Maybe it was the Deadlands campaign that was the last straw. Maybe host wife was just that good for his mentality. But host, in the first time since I've known him, stood up to Grimey and told him to leave his wife alone. Times were changing, and this was the first step to the end of Grimey's rape.
Campaign 3. A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm sorry if that sounded wrong, but yeah.
That's fine. If anyone has a problem with that, get over it. We're having fun.
Yes. And I really do like how host is getting a new shiny spine. Hopefully he gets that diamond encrusted.
Sounded like Loki was trying to play Epic Spell Wars really quick.
Ro had gotten bit by the Game of Thrones bug hard, and he lost it when he learned that there was a Song of Ice and Fire TTRPG. He gave me a quick rundown, and I was particularly intrigued by two aspects of the system that are important for the story. Excuse me. First, there are two forms of combat: a traditional combat system in which you fought with weapons until a side was defeated, and a social combat in which you present arguments using social stats to sway NPCs to your way of thinking. Second, this was a setting with virtually no magic, and serious injuries could take months of in-game time to heal. The pacing of the game was supposed to be a mix of political intrigue and combat, making it one of the more unique systems I'd run across. As per my usual character creation habit, I asked our players what type of builds they were making. Grimey, as before, refused to divulge anything about his character, but everyone else was running either a pure combat or combat social hybrid character. I rolled up to a Meester, which, for those who are unaware, is a scholar considered highly prized in any kingdom for their wealth of information. I focused on healing knowledge, which allowed me to reduce in-game healing times by more than half, and I put all of my remaining points into social encounters, as I felt a scholar would be out of place on a battlefield. Grimey, once session 1 began, revealed a pure combat archer with a 10-page backstory. Bro, having seen Gamey's bullshit before, read over the entire backstory, which Grimey refused to show until session 1. Bro flat out refused, stating, "No, you cannot be the head of an army and have the loyalty of the Lord's military over the Lord himself."
Okay, let's pause right there. As a GM or a DM, whatever you want to call me, that's some bullshit right there. That's like Mr. Henderson levels of bullshit. Old Man Henderson.
No. That is not Old Man Henderson level. That was zero bullshit.
Yep.
From the story of Edgardo.
Yeah.
That's the same level of bullshit that is. Where you have a player who is by no means in the actual, how shall we say, in the actual totem pole of leadership, subverting the entire thing because of his own pride and ego.
Yep. And it gets wackier.
Yeah, I'm going to get back to it before I get heated more over that.
Get back to the book. Get back to the story. Oh no.
Grimey had become more agitated since Host got married and showed that agitation by slamming his ham-sized fist into the wooden table in hopes to appear more threatening. Bro treated Grimey as the child he was and told him he could be a sergeant in arms and have a small platoon of soldiers. A small correction, sergeant's misspelled, but pedantism. Grimey continued pounding on the table, but Bro's ruling was final and he relented.
He is a man-child. Yay!
Yeah, and that's right. They're doing this at Host's place because everyone fits there.
Yep.
And I don't think at this point Host realized he could sit there, tell him that Grimey was no longer wanted or allowed in his house, and if he refused to leave, get the cops involved and have that fat ass thrown in jail.
True, but he's growing a spine, so His spine isn't
Once
super diamond coated yet, so he's still developing that spine.
Yes. The session finally began, and Bro laid out his first mission. A neighboring baron and ally to our lord had been suffering from bandits hiding in their forest, preventing merchants and traders from getting through and slowly dwindling their supplies. It was left to our group on to how we could aid the baron. I suggested sending supplies to the baron, but accompany it by some soldiers disguised as traders. If the supplies are ambushed by bandits, then we would be able to counter ambush them. The party was in alignment, was in agreement, but Grimey didn't like the plan, mostly because he didn't come up with it. Grimey wanted to go to our neighboring allies and burn their forest down to flush out the bandits, then bring the full force of our military against them. While his plan seemed insane, Bro thought this would be an excellent time to test out the social combat system. Our Lord requested me and Grimey's presence in the throne room, each of us standing before him to present our arguments. Grimey goes first, preaching that might is right and force your results. My maester presented the facts that burning an ally's forest while marching in with the full force of our military might be seen as an act of aggression that would also leave our own castle vulnerable. With my focus in social combat, I easily outrolled Grimey's argument, which led to Grimey declaring to Bro, I challenge OP to a one-on-one combat. And before Bro could say anything, Grimey described charging at my character with a short sword and skewering him. Grimey rolls the dice and says, I hit, you take 11 damage. Bro shuts Grimey down, saying that before any of that happens, the two of the Lord's guards tackle Grimey to the ground. Grimey slammed his fist into the table, again screeching how his dice rolls were high. Bro facepalms and informs Grimey, you were called to the Lord for a discussion. You took out your weapon in front of the Lord, which is already grounds of being attacked. And then you run unprovokingly charged at his maester. The Lord has no reason to believe your plan could succeed now, and you will be stripped of your rank if you continue this behavior. Bro is cool like that. You're also forgetting one very key fucking thing.
What?
The DM didn't approve of it.
Yep.
No matter what any player says, no action in the story can be taken without the acknowledgement or agreement of the DM.
Yep. There you go.
You cannot sit there and unprovokingly attack another player without the DM sitting there and says, okay, roll for it.
Oh yeah, even the crappier DMs usually say, okay, you want to do that? Are you sure? Those crappy DMs usually get stories written about them. However,
They still sit there and acknowledge it, allow it to happen, and before anything, before any attack is ever made, they sit there and say, roll for it.
Yep. And those crappy DMs
Now-
usually say, "Oh, roll for it." However, if they're a good DM, they would have like, "No, you can't do that." Yeah.
Yeah.
They,
And basically completely shut down
All of that was-
I'm going to attack this guy just because I want to, and I'm going to go ahead and just fucking roll for it. I hit, he takes damage. It's like, when the fuck did I say you could?
Yeah.
It's like, not to mention, again, understanding this environment that they were in. Much like, Bro sat there and said it, they were called before the Lord to have a discussion.
Yes.
And he unprovokingly
took out
drew his blade. It doesn't matter who that blade was pointed to at that time.
You could have killed the Lord.
The Lord and the guards could sit there and see, oh, he's drawing a weapon. It doesn't matter if it is at the person he's sitting there debating against or at the Lord himself. This was against social decorum.
Yes.
Before a Lord.
Yep.
The Lord, his character technically would have had to swear to be a part of the military.
Yes. And if I was the DM at that time, he would be lucky I didn't have his fucking character beheaded for an attempted assault on the life of the Lord. Yes. And he'd sit there and be like, I wasn't going to attack the Lord. I was going to attack this idiot. It's like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep. It doesn't.
You unprovokingly drew a weapon before the Lord you were called before. Have a discussion.
Yes.
Social combat. Go.
Combat denied.
Yeah. Grimey was so pissed that he declared that we were done for tonight. He packed up his things and left. After he was gone, Bro told everyone that he was still down to run the session. And we did some RPing and finalized our mission plans. Session 2 rolled around. Grimey was furious that the group had the audacity to play without him after he left and refused to listen to our plan. We had 2 carts full of supplies and an armed platoon disguised as merchants, including Grimey's fellow soldiers. Which, quick sidestep here. Going back to the point of Grimey's plan, the original one.
Yeah.
That was a bad plan.
It was.
Because if you were going to sit there, burn down an ally's forest,
yep,
and then follow it up with the full force of your military,
yep,
they're not going to sit there and see it as, oh, you're just going after the bandits. No, they're going to see that as oh, you are declaring war on us.
Yeah,
1,
either
2,
way.
3, 4. I declare the war.
Either way, they're boned if they did Grimey's plan.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just like, for those that want to sit there and think, oh, well, that sounds like a fantastic idea. It's like, no, it's not. I mean, unless you were going to sit there and declare war on your allies.
Then fuck you.
But back then, in that situation, no. Like, you don't want to sit there, burn down their entire fucking forest, and then bear the full force of your military on bandits.
Yeah.
Because much like he pointed out, that would leave their kingdom
unprotected,
which would allow an enemy's forces to storm your lands and take your castle and kill your lord and king.
So true.
Like, there's so many things wrong with that plan, because he's just a bullheaded, muscle-brained dumbass.
Without the muscles.
Yes.
His brain is 99% lard.
Lard. Why is
And
it always...
amoebas. Yeah. Okay. Back to the story.
Back to the story.
Grimey refused to dress up as a merchant and ordered his soldiers to do the same. As we head off, Bro explained that your group will need a scout to plan their route ambushes. Grimey volunteered, and the group agreed to his scouting, as his scouting stats were high. Grimey manages to do a decent job rerouting our carts away from damaged roads and bad weather, and then Grimey found his first bandit, hiding as a lookout. When he came back to report the group, he didn't mention it. Out of character, everyone was asking why Grimey wasn't warning about the bandit, and Grimey smugly explains, it's what my character would do. And don't you think about metagaming this? Our group is inevitably ambushed, but we managed to drive the bandits back. Most of the group took damage as they fought, but me being a non-combatant role, I hid under the cart. This pissed off Grimey, who was berating my maester for being a coward, as I was patching up our party and NPC post-battle. It's like, dumbass, he's a non-combatant. He's doing what his character would actually fucking do. So you want to sit there and say that your character would not inform the rest of the party because it's what his character would do. Motherfucker can't sit there and be a hypocrite. When I offered to assist Grimey, who had taken some damage, he called me a fake maester and said that he could bandage himself off better than any quack could. Grimey failed his medicine check and now suffered a movement speed penalty until he got proper medical treatment. One of our NPCs volunteered to help Grimey with the scouting, saying that 2 scouts would more likely find a hidden ambush. But Grimey huffed, telling Bro not to do his job. Grimey continued the solo scout, but I asked the NPC scout to go ahead and scout anyway. Grimey yelled at Bro, telling him that he had no point in the group now, which Bro responded to him, maybe if you did your job and warned people about ambushes, your reputation among the NPCs would be stronger. Grimey slammed the table again, but Bro simply stared down Grimey like a parent who was about to spank their child.
How much you want to bet
that child didn't need no. That child didn't need no spank. He needed a full-on ass whooping.
Just beat his ass.
That is the epitome of a child who was never said no.
Yep.
Growing up.
Yep.
Which, for those of you who are parents that are watching this,
whoop your kid's ass.
Don't be afraid to tell them no. They need to learn early on.
Yeah.
That there are consequences to actions.
Yes.
They need to learn. Just because you want something doesn't mean you automatically get it. You have to work for it. You have to be in a position where you have earned it.
Yes.
Or you could earn it.
Yes.
Or yeah. You have.
They have to be able.
Yeah.
Like today, I wanted a Lego set. I bought a Lego set.
Because you earned
yes.
it with the money that you earned at your job.
My job?
Yes. One good thing about adulting, you get adulting money.
Yeah.
And no one can sit there and tell you how to spend your adult money.
Yes.
My wife can, but I gave her permission for that one.
Yeah, that's an entirely different reason.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
definitely.
my wife
Or-
is smarter than me.
Yes. When you are single and have no one to sit there and supervise you,
Buy all the plastic shit you want.
no one can say otherwise. But when you are in a committed relationship
It's not just
and
you, honey.
you have
It's
someone that is the more financially responsible individual, you will sit there and listen to them.
Yeah.
It's a smart idea.
When did it?
Otherwise, that money can go fast.
Wait a minute. When did it become relationship problems? When did we start to go?
This is your, well, this is just when we're sitting there talking about actual adult money.
Yeah.
Like when you're
Back
single,
to Grimey.
yeah, when you're single and effectively, as the joke goes, left unsupervised
I was left
compared
unsupervised.
to, yeah, compared to being in a relationship where, again, you need to respect the relationship and you need to respect your partner.
Yeah. Even my
Or you
single
won't
ass
have a
knows
partner
that.
very long.
Oh yeah, that's 99% of the Reddit stories that I listen to. Like, hey, I did something stupid and my partner doesn't want to be with me anymore. What should I do to get her back? Wah! Like, you are made of
Uh,
stupid.
Yeah.
Most of the relationship stories I listen to is the female doing the stupid.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I decided that my husband is no longer allowed to hang out with his friends. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, that, or you have the ones where she goes off on a trip or out on the night of a town with her single friends that are actively trying to dismantle her happy relationship,
And
and
she
inevitably,
immediately realize it.
and inevitably get her to cheat on her boyfriend or husband, and he finds out and ends the relationship.
Yeah. So can we get back to the story?
Yes. Eventually, our NPC scout reported a larger group of bandits, readying us for the ambush. Host orders our stealthiest NPCs and PCs to sneak past the bandits and hide. When the bandits would attack, they would ambush the bandits and pincer them from behind. A solid plan. Grimey was a part of the stealthy party and hid himself in a tree. Right as we're getting into position, Grimey says he impersonates one of the bandits' voices and yells that there's a maester in the back cart who'd be worth a king's ransom. This ruined our surprise round, which resulted in a bandit notching an arrow and firing first into Grimey. Grimey turned red, cursing out Bro as a metagaming asshole playing favorites. Bro told Grimey, "You can't pretend to be a bandit. You don't know what any of them sound like. All you did was give away your position. Now make a dex check to prevent yourself from falling out of a tree." Grimey rolled poorly, and the damage of falling off the tree combined with his two other injuries made him unconscious. Grimey continued to smack the table with his fist and then declared he needed some fresh air and stepped outside to cool off. With Grimey out of the picture, the rest of the party had a challenging battle. Even my maester, who had to draw a knife at some point when our backline was overwhelmed, resulting in me getting a gnarly stab wound. Grimey returned as we wrapped up the fight. One of the PCs searched the bodies and uncovered a coded message with the emblem of a neighboring county, with a neighboring country, giving us our first major story hook. I patched myself and all the other injured PCs and NPCs as one of Grimey's soldiers dragged his unconscious body to me. Let it never be said that I metagame or hold a grudge. As I rushed over to Grimey's character, knowing full well I could have ignored him, I patched him up, made some recovery drugs with wild plants, and got him conscious again. Grimey smiles and says he pulls out his dagger and stabs my character. Bro demands Grimey give me a non-bullshit reason why he'd attack his own medic. Grimey argues that he was in battle mode before falling out of the tree, and his soldier instincts would keep him in fighting mode even as he was coming around. Bro glanced at my direction. I shrugged my soldiers, and Grimey was allowed to make his attack. It hits, and now the group's only medic is unconscious.
Medic down!
Medic down!
You never attacked your own fucking medic.
Well, he did.
Never.
He did.
That's peak retard.
Yes. Peak stupid indeed.
Because now your medic has a reason to not want to deal with you.
Or
I would have
grudges.
kicked him the fuck out of my house.
Oh, yeah.
I would have killed his character right fucking then and there by having every NPC attack his ass
Oh, yeah.
and kicked his ass out of my house and told him he's never fucking welcome in my house again. And if he even shows up, the cops will get involved, a restraining order will be placed, and he will, or at least a trespass will be enacted, and his fat ass would be arrested. Because the medic, the cleric, the healer
The support bro.
is a very necessary character. To the point you can say is a sacred character that must always be protected. Not fucking thrown into the fucking gutter.
I don't think Grimey got that memo.
No, he's just an arrogant, egotistical badass who sat there and let his own fucking grudges control what he fucking does.
That too.
Oh. Chris.
I'm trying to calm down. I'm trying to calm down.
Oh, that's not what I was talking about.
Yes.
Did Parkhead tell you my answer to what you wanted to ask me?
Hey, no.
Oh,
other
no, not
games. No other things. Not. We're still recording. Come on. Gotta remember that. Send that in private DMs.
How much longer is in this Reddit post? Dear God.
This is the third part.
Yeah, this is the last part.
Yeah.
So long
And they were
Reddit post.
Oh yeah, 3-part long.
All right, back to the.
Grimey glares at me with a shit-eating grin and then volunteers to scout ahead. This time, Grimey actually warns the group of ambushes, which we avoid. We reach our destination, the Baron's castle. Half the party, including Grimey, needed extreme medical attention. We're put up to the Baron's private medical wing, where I eventually regain consciousness and began patching myself up faster than the Baron's doctor and nurses could believe. Host had already convinced the Baron that we are here to help with a generous introduction. I was given temporary control over the Baron's medical staff. Before this exchange, Grimey had been a model patient, wanting to get back to full health as soon as possible. But when the news of my temporary promotion got to the medical wing, Grimey refused any further treatment. He lashed out at the nurses, doctors, and anyone else working under a lying maester who would betray the Baron. Grimey's low diplomacy skills meant that no one believed him, resulting in him getting out of bed and attacking my character whenever I tried to help him.
Scrolling up.
I want the most violent death possible for that character right now.
I want a random case of IBS for him for the rest of his life.
Oh, as a person
I'm
that
talking
read
about I'm
has
talking
seen
about
this.
the character, not the person.
I'm talking about the
Well,
person.
well, I will
Yes,
say this: he gets his just desserts and lost something.
I
that's
still
when
think
I
you
get
should have a
a
permanent
idea.
case of IBS.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me.
That's when I get a idea and pass bro a note. Bro looks at it, smiles, and continues role playing. Next time we went into Grimey's perspective, Bro described a meal prepared for him, which Grimey then eats. Bro asked Grimey to make a constitution save, and being injured, Grimey gets massive penalties to the save, failing it. Your head feels heavy as the poppy hidden in your meal begins to numb your body and fill you with pleasant dreams. Yes, I had ordered the nurse to drug Grimey's food as he was clearly delirious with fever. Grimey shrieked, giving us a poor Donkey King impression as he altered, slamming his left and right fist into the table.
Donkey King? You mean Donkey Kong?
Donkey King!
King Kong. His hands
Hey.
were actually swollen by the end of his fit, which only pissed Grimey off more because out of character, I offered to fetch him the first aid kit. In character, I rolled extremely well to heal Grimey up. Fast forward a few sessions, and our party is making progress, piecing together a mystery regarding a rival lord who is seeking to cut off our lord's allies. As part of a plan to take over our lands. Grimey had zero contribution to our progress, as he couldn't leave his bed. Instead, Grimey began writing page-long notes and passing them to Bro. Bro read them all. And during one of our RP sessions, he described the scene. As you're discussing your recent discovery, one of the nurses OP recognizes approaches him, asking for a private audience. The nurse explains that Grimey has been handing her letters in secret, demanding that they be sent to your lord without the party's knowledge. But due to his temperament, the nurse thought it would be best if OP saw them first. Bro passed me the notes, which were just pages of nonsense that can be summed up as your maester is drugging me as proof of his inevitable betrayal. I describe the maester thanking the nurse, and when she leaves the room, I tear up the note, which I then mimic in real life. And that was it. The straw that broke Grimey. The entire party was having a blast in Bro's campaign, half of which was just enjoying Grimey's freakouts. Grimey, in character, had lost all of his standings, lost the respect of his men and the favor of his lord out of character behavior. Bro, unlike any other GM, had given Grimey consequences for his actions. And Grimey couldn't compute. He tore up his character sheet and tossed it in Bro's face, and he turned to Host and demanded to end this campaign, to which Host, having grown some form of backbone, responded that it was Bro's decision when the campaign ended. Grimey would have screamed, but his voice had become a sore mess.
He had no voice.
Yeah. Which was sweating profusely, and his fists had become swollen and darker from pounding on the table. He is sloppily through all of his things in a bag, flipped off me, Host and Bro, and then slammed the door and left. We were silent for a moment before Bro, with a look of satisfaction, said, I'm ending the campaign here. I will never be able to top that climax.
Epilogue.
After that session ended, Grimey stopped coming to board game night and instead ran a new campaign, making sure to tell me in my face that I was not invited to play. I couldn't care less, and host told me that said campaign only went for 3 sessions before Grimey got frustrated and stopped running it. I learned a month later that Grimey lost his job at the comic book shop. For years, Grimey had bragged that he was the superior nerd because he got employee discounts on comics and game books. I had visited that shop and it was actually pretty nice, but checked their Google and Yelp reviews and it was listed as a 2-star, establishing that it was a 2-star establishment with negative reviews from parents and women mentioning one of the employees was rude, insulting my taste in comics and games, and demanding that I buy things based on his recommendation. After Grimey lost his job, he completely dropped from the group, and even host stopped mentioning it. While Liz has appeared.
Hold on, Liz. Before
Hi.
anything else, we got to finish this story.
So that's the story of Grimey. He is the ultimate lesson in why shitty people sometimes get away with being shitty. But he is also the hope that karma does exist. And for that, I will always be thankful, Grimey, for entering and leaving my life.
TLDR, a player tries to back up friends' newly style life, break up a friend's newly wed life. Then metagames concepts to attempt to kill to kill my character, which backfires against him every time, leading to him leading to the biggest tantrum ever. Yeah.
Yep.
So, Jar, Chris, thoughts?
Besides the fact that Grimey is a petulant child that should be flogged.
That is agreeable. That is true. Anything else, Chris? I know you're bubbling with rage.
That one rough summary could be that Grimey is the overgrown, overweight man-child that is sheltered and protected and who has never been told no a day in his life
Yes.
by his mother, and he lives in her basement.
Yes.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
And he will never find anyone for it.
With that all said and done, and I think those are massive amount of ramblings, thank you for watching.
Yes.
And we are out.